Okay, one last note about this project and how I did it. I just want to talk about a couple tools that I used. Most of the tools, there's a picture along with this. You can see all the tools. They're all pretty self-explanatory, I think, to a point. But just a couple tools I wanted to talk about that I find particularly useful and helpful to any hobbyist, but also just, I mean, in my normal work, I use these all the time too. First is the palm drill. Not quite a pin vise, but similar. These are great because you just rest it in your palm like that, and then you twist it, and you can hand drill. You can be real steady, real precise, and it works really, really well. Now, I actually own two of these because the ferrule that is this little piece here. So if I'm gonna, boy, this is on there real tight. But anyway, the piece that holds the drill. All right. Ironically, this is so tight that I need a separate tool to undo it. So just grab my trusty channel lock here and boop, there. So there's this little ferrule in here. And when you buy one of these drills, you actually get two of these little ferrules. Now this one's larger. There's another one that's much, much smaller. And that's for using tiny, tiny, tiny little drill bits that are just like for individual wires and things like that. They're so tiny, they're very brittle, but I use those a lot too. And rather than just switching out ferrules all the time, I just bought two of these drills, and I keep one with the small ferrule, one with the large one. But these come in super handy, especially for this soft Reaper plastic. Any minis, I use this for all the time. For drilling out small minis to put magnets on for whatever reason I'm doing that. But not a common tool, but really, 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 really useful for this hobby. And this is just the standard 1/8" drill bit. I'm very, very particular in just my professional work, but that I use that everything be standard. So in my professional work, everything is either 1/8" or 1/4". That's all I use. Unless I super have to. Oh, I mean, there are edge cases where you need it, like for when you're tapping and things like that, you need different sizes. But for the most part, I try and keep everything to 1/8 and 1/4 because it makes it so much easier if something breaks and you need to replace it. Well, what size was this? Oh, it's either 1/8 or 1/4, and it's really easy to see which they are just by looking at them. It's just going to make your life so much easier. Now, when you're doing hobby work, you don't always have that luxury, so it doesn't apply as often. But I go through 1/8" drill bits like crazy because they're thin and they break, but I buy them in bulk because it is what I use for 95% of everything. So that's a little hint for your work. Try and keep things consistent. It just makes it that much easier. Again, when using tiny magnets, you don't always have that luxury. The other tool I wanted to talk about, because it's not quite as apparent, is of course every hobbyist's and every maker's really one of those go-to tools that you use all the time is a Dremel. I like the battery operated Dremels. I have a couple batteries just to switch out when I need them. It's just the convenience of it. It's a hand tool, so battery operated is great. Not everybody likes that. Some people prefer the plugins because you don't have to worry about it. Also, the plugins tend to be higher horsepower, which is useful in and of itself. This is an old model Dremel. The 10.8 volt, it's upside down there, but this one is still pretty beefy. When you get it up to its max setting, it'll cut through metal and whatnot. It works just fine, especially for smaller applications like this. It's just fine. But the two things that are a little bit unusual are this piece, the flex tool, and also the speed chuck. This should be the standard with Dremel. I'm sorry. It should be. If you have a Dremel and you don't have this, for the love of God, go out and buy one right now. You don't need to use that stupid wrench. You just press the button, twist it off, put your new bits in, put it back on. Everyone should use this. Just buy it. Just for the love of God, buy it. The flex tool is a bit more specific, but it basically, oops, hit my camera. But it basically lets you turn your high-powered Dremel into a pencil. And so for work like this is essential. It also lets you keep your Dremel to the side. It's got this little hangy thing. I usually hang it on my belt if I'm working on bigger stuff, or if I'm working at my desk, I'll just clip it to the desk. But it lets you really get fine control. Now for this job, I use mostly this little carving head. But yeah, see there, boom. I just changed heads. That's all it takes. You don't have to go in with the stupid wrench and all the different ferrules. It's a pain in the butt. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just get the stupid speed chuck, please. It's like $5. Just buy it. But yeah, so this head is what I used for gouging out almost everything on the pirate ship. Like I said, because it's a Dremel, it goes pretty fast. You'll need to pause because it melts the plastic as it's cutting it. You know, trim off the melted excess. Now Dremel does make a specialized Dremel called the Stylo that is basically just this part, and it plugs into the wall, and it's great. I have one myself. I don't use it ever though. I thought it would be clever, and it kind of is. It's cheap, so it's a perfect entry-level Dremel, but it just doesn't have the power of getting a regular Dremel with the flex hose. You get the full power of your Dremel. Well, it decreases a little bit, like 5%, but you know, whatever, who gives a damn. This is a great tool in general, but also especially for hobbyist use. Yeah. Anyway, that's my word for Dremel. Sadly, they don't pay me. Maybe they should. There you go. Enjoy. See you, Reapers.